It's Gunnar Stockton season, whether you like it or not. Buckle up, Georgia fans. Is this good or bad? Next, Locked On Bulldogs.
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Locked On Bulldogs, part of Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. I am Clint. Welcome to Locked On Bulldogs. Glad you're here. Everydayers, first listeners, those who download and listen right away, we appreciate you. You guys are the favorite and best. Today's episode brought to you by FanDuel, FanDuel.com. Get on the action over at FanDuel.com. More on them in a moment. Got three things to talk to you about today. One, Gunnar Stockton season's here, everybody. Get ready, because it's Gunnar or bust. Two, what can't Kirby Smart do? We're going to talk about that because there's this weird dichotomy. Some people call him doubting on him. Some people saying he's overhyped. Some people putting him right where he should be, best coach in college football. And then lastly, recruiting is still ongoing, and Kirby is still winning at it. We're going to talk about those three things today. Let's get to it first. Gunnar Stockton, SEC Media Days. Here's what Kirby did. Kirby came out and said, guess what? Here are my leaders. Here they are. And to no one's surprise, to absolutely zero people's surprise, Gunnar Stockton makes the list, travels on out, gets to SEC Media Days. Now, this is a big nothing. But can I start? Like, everybody calm down. Because yes, Gunnar Stockton is at SEC Media Days. Yes, that means that he's the starting quarterback. No, it doesn't mean Kirby Smart's going to say anything about that. And, this just in as well. We're going to have a number of wide receivers who have the potential to break records because of what's going on right now down in Athens. Look, Gunnar Stockton, every report we're hearing out of camp, if you go check it out, we had Brooks Austin on the show last week. Go check him out. Go listen to his film guy study. He's doing stuff on Gunnar Stockton, talking about it, laying it out there. Word out of camp is Colby Young can't be stopped. Noah Thomas is going to go ahead and get his tuds, and Branch is speed demon all the way around. Colby Young might not stop anything. It might be revenge tour. It might be the Kirby death march, but in wide receiver terms. And all of that is with Gunnar Stockton throwing the football. Now, when he's at SEC Media Days, when he comes out, when everybody says, look, this is our quarterback, what Kirby Smart is saying and what you need to hear and receive is that this man has the best ability to get us wins this coming season. Now, you can tell me why we need Puglisi. You can tell me that Gunnar didn't look too good against Notre Dame. You could tell me we have a small sample size, yada, 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 yada. Here's what I can tell you definitively. Wide receivers that are in Georgia's wide receiver room are most in sync right now with Gunnar Stockton. Period. They have the most connection. They have the most catchable balls. They have the most timing. They have the most relationship with him. There is no smoke, no word, no utterance coming out of camp other than Gunnar Stockton's putting the ball where he needs to be. And if you look at this offense and you look at who these players are, by the way, and you look at their skill set and their strengths, it is not, look, they're good route runners. Dylan Bell is not an exacting route runner. He is a tough as nails blocker. He gets the end arounds. He can kind of do it all. That's not precision route running. Noah Thomas, big-bodied receiver who can go up and get something down the seam. Colby Young might have an ability, probably of everybody. Branch has the most just jitterbug speed to get in and out of cuts and breaks. Colby Young might have the best pure route running ability. Logan Humphreys not included in that. But these guys go up and get balls, go up and have a huge catch radius, or with Branch in his, get the underneath, get the screens, get the short stuff, get the intermediary passes, and get going. A lot of this is, don't hear me say Ohio State and put us on the level of those receivers last year, but this is more in the camp of Ohio State. Ohio State's wide receivers, good guys, good wide receivers, but go up and get the ball, go up and beat a guy across from you, get going, get fast, get gone. That's what they do. That defines a lot of our receivers. Now, I say all of this because I'm going to tell you, I'm going to talk a little bit more other receivers and tell you why this fits perfectly within Gunnar Stockton's skill set, what he brings to the field. Branch is quick, gets going in and out of cuts, a little bit of space. He doesn't have to have incredible route running to do so. He's just purely a faster human. Now, that's great because Gunnar Stockton, cannon of an arm, putting it up and out of the reach of defenders, back shoulder passes on go routes, on deep posts, slants. That's kind of be, if I just had to guess, screens, posts, quick hits, and then turn and burn, right? These are branches. Colby Young, Noah Thomas. Back shoulder, not just the fade over the defender, but back shoulder as in get to the sticks, get up in the air, turn around, catch that ball, get a possession, get a first down. I've just described those two guys. I've described that they're going to do more of the in routes, the out routes. They're going to do some of the comebacks. They are going to do maybe a little bit skinnier post or a shorter post on that. Maybe a little flag in there as well. Those guys are put the ball where we need to on just a laser rope out there, 15, 20 yards, go get it. Gunnar Stockton's skill set is an absolute howitzer of an arm that he can put the ball beyond. It's kind of funny to me. Beyond 20 yards, it feels like Gunnar is more accurate than he is 10 yards. Now, we could look at that and be like, well, that's not a great sign, Clint. That's a bad quarterback. Well, maybe. But if you're asking him to play within the offense that he needs to do, set up play action, quick hits, you're not going to like hearing this, Georgia fans from last year, screen into the boundary, draw, get the defense loosened up, get them biting on some quick hitting stuff, and then hit that deep action, hit that Oscar Delp. This is the part that last year, Carson Beck had better chances of doing intermediary short stuff. He did have a pretty nice deep ball at times, but he undersold it a great deal of the time. Throwing the ball, not enough air under it. No one is going to look at Gunnar and be like, hey, I wish you can get more air under the ball. I wish you can really drive off that back foot and get it going. No. Colby Young is not going to be telling him, hey, try to out-throw me. Branch is not going to say, hey, you left that one 15 yards short of me. I could have had him. I had him on the double move. Get me a little deeper. That's not going to be his statement. You might not like it because you're going to see a couple of overthrows. You're going to see a couple things to the sideline that are going to hit off the fingertips of the receiver, not down and low where only he can catch it, up and high where maybe he's going to expose himself. You're going to be frustrated with that for Gunnar Stockton. But coming to SEC Media Days, what Kirby Smart is saying is this guy gives us the best chance to win today more than anybody else. Period. It's Gunnar or bust. He's going to win us games. And this is not a, hey, if he doesn't take care of it in the first couple of weeks, we got Tennessee on the road. Bye. We got early Bama. We got Texas late on. This is not a question of can Ryan Puglisi come in after? No. It is Gunnar Stockton or bust. Gunnar Stockton is going to take us to playoff run, or it will be an abysmal season in which heads roll early on. My gut is that Gunnar's the dude. We've been saying this for a while. Puglisi had a couple of smoke screens early on in camp, but that's done, guys. Puglisi's looking at 2 more years to start. Gunnar gonna get this year, maybe next year, maybe comes back again, but it's his team. Get used to it. Get ready for it. We're going to come back after this. I'm going to let you know, hey, the SEC is stacked this year. Who are the top elites of the SEC, according to guys within Locked On Broadcasting? I'll talk about that. But first, these. These are, in fact, FanDuel. FanDuel is fantastic. Get over there right now. FanDuel.com. Summer sports full swing. FanDuel is the best way to make every single game more exciting. You're ready to follow the action. Why not make it a little bit more interesting and thrilling with FanDuel? You can get on the game with your friends or getting absolutely baked at the beach. We've been using FanDuel for quite a long time. Favorite matchups. App keeps it fresh with new daily promotions and fun ways to bet. New to FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. FanDuel, get in the game. All right, everybody. I'm back. I'm talking more. And here's what I'm talking. We got rankings. The season is not even close yet for some people. And I want to ask a simple question. Is Georgia still the cream of the crop in the SEC? Has Texas taken us over? Has Alabama taken us over? The SEC network of Locked On Bulldogs, Locked On Podcast is going to go ahead and come up with its rankings, but this is Locked On College Football Conference rankings, and this is the overall Locked On network, not the SEC insiders, those who actually follow the team. So take this with a grain of salt. I'm going to walk through this a little bit. This is their rankings. If you're not over on YouTube, if you're listening to the audio side, let me tell you what they are. 1, Georgia, 2, Texas, 3, Alabama, 4, LSU. The second tier, South Carolina, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Florida in at 8, Texas A&M at 9, Tennessee 10, Missouri 11, Auburn 12, Vanderbilt is 13, Arkansas 14, Mississippi State comes at 15, and last but not least, Kentucky. That's the rankings. And it's really interesting to me because can we be real for a second? Can we just talk? I'm going to break down some lunacy in this because there is, like all rankings, and it's lunacy. I'm going to talk about some lunacy, but right off the bat, first 4, it's chalk. It's chalk. Georgia, Texas, Alabama, LSU. Yeah. If those 4 teams have a down year, if those 4 teams can't get going into the playoffs, it's the SEC has a down year overall. Down year in totality. That's chalk. LSU might have Brian Kelly, might have his most talented roster at LSU. Who knows? Georgia has new culture, got rid of Carson Beck, which is a net positive for all of us. Texas is still there with a lot of guys that talent-wise, I'm not totally sure. Alabama, I'm picking them to win the SEC. I know you don't like hearing that. I think Georgia's going to be in the SEC championship game. I do. I think we're going to cannibalize each other. I think we're going to take 1 L to one of those teams and possibly a loss to Tennessee, but I think that's still going to be fine and get us into SEC championship because I think the rest of the league is going to go ahead and suffer 3 losses, 2 losses maybe for Alabama. I think we actually take Alabama this year at Athens. The first 4 I have no problem with. Brian Kelly should be on the hot seat. Just so y'all know, Brian Kelly doesn't finish 4th or 3rd or 2nd or 1st. He ought to be fired. You tell me, LSU fan, am I wrong on that? Brian Kelly does not get into top 4 in the SEC, which is a playoff berth with LSU this year. Does he deserve to be fired? I say yes. This second tier, this is the one that's confusing to me. Oklahoma 6, Florida 8. We're high on Florida this year. We think the cocktail party is going to be a little bit more interesting than people are giving it credit for. I'm not mad at them being in the middle of the pack. I think actually Billy Napier, if he has another 500 season, buys himself 1 more year. He shouldn't. He got himself a couple of good, okay feels last year. Not good, but okay feels enough to keep him around. But the Oklahoma pick, I'm going to give bravo to Locked On College Football, the podcast itself that covers all of college football, giving Oklahoma 6. I don't hate because I think actually they're vastly improved. Their defensive and offensive line has already been there. They can recruit defense, and now they have Mateer and Ott. That offense is going to be okay. They're going to be just fine in my book. I actually like what they're doing. Here's the third cream of the crop after that. Texas A&M, Tennessee, Missouri, Auburn. I'll tell you this right now. I hate saying this because they're going to prove me wrong. They're going to show me I'm an idiot. I'm going to utter these things I'm going to say next. And they're going to prove me wrong, but A&M is due for an up year. And they have the guys, they have the coach, they have the defense, they have the recruits, and they have the no drama. I think they finish higher than 6th in the SEC. I think they finish 5th in the SEC. That's a good ball club. That's a really good ball club. No drama, no words coming out of it. I think they are far too low on this. Tennessee at 10, I think, is far too high. It's going to be tough week 3 up in Tennessee. That is no indication. I think they will be a formidable opponent up there. They lost a lot of talent, and Josh Heupel, I just don't see it. 10 actually it feels okay and right. But man, can we talk about the last 4? Vanderbilt, Arkansas, Mississippi State, Kentucky. Can we just talk about the SEC? Vanderbilt might be on the rest. Clark Lee doing some things last year, looking pretty dang good. Kentucky. You guys realize Stoops is absolutely dead man walking, has been since midway through last year. You saw it on his face when he couldn't get through on the year that he should have, the year that he could have and should have beat Kirby, because injured running backs, check. Offensive line that couldn't push a guy off the ball, check. Injured offensive line in the interior, check. Carson Beck not knowing what to do with the football, check. Kentucky having a very simple game plan against Georgia, and Kirby being willing to let it come down to a kicking field goal game, check, check, check. And you could see the life drain from Stoops in that game. He's a dead man walking. He wanted out of that job. He had another job a couple of years ago, decided that, nope, the school said, nah, just kidding. But this is a bad bottom of the SEC. Mississippi State, I don't think, has an identity anywhere. Arkansas, Sam Pittman should be fired by week 4. I'm sorry. Week 4, week 5, Sam Pittman should no longer be employed by Arkansas. It was a good story. It was a good run. He had a couple of good games, a couple of notable things. Green can play quarterback, but Sam, I'm sorry, brother. Come on back, be an advisor at Georgia. We will happily welcome you. We will put you up in a box somewhere where the hip replacement won't hurt so bad as you're doing it. I promise you. I give you my word. But that's a bad bottom of the SEC. Vanderbilt likely is going to go ahead and get themselves out of the basement of that. Auburn and Missouri might be sliding their way into it. Missouri lost a bunch of talent, probably one of the most talented rosters that Drinkovitz has had. Auburn is, we talked about it on the Locked On SEC Squad show. Auburn is nowhere near recruiting in any capacity that is competitive. And secondly, doesn't have a single thing happening right now for itself on the field that gives any indication it has life. I hate to say it, Auburn might be a bottom basement dwelling team after this year. Hugh Freeze is not it. Well, they're going to find out this year. It's either Zach Blackerby over on Locked On Auburn has said this as well. It's either get me to 9 wins or get me 2 wins and be done with it. Don't give me middle. Don't give me some growth. Don't give me hope. If they are middling, I would rather see them have 2 losses. It's true, because then they could go ahead and say, like, okay, he's not the guy. His system's on it. His guys aren't it. He's not recruiting anything. He's golfing for days. Let's move on. We'll see if it actually happens. I'm going to come back after this. I'm going to let you know that recruiting is still going, and Kirby, yes, is still taking everybody else's recruits, and they can't stop them. I'm going to let you know who that is after these. Welcome back. This is the loyal third segment. For those who listen all the way to the end, we're glad you guys have done so. Georgia is on a tear recruiting. We have followed this for some time now. They cannot be stopped. It's quite remarkable what they are doing and what Kirby Smart has been able to get. I predict them to go ahead and get that number 1 class ahead of USC, Texas A&M, Notre Dame, and Alabama, making a push. Alabama with 4 5-stars. That's quite a run themselves. They are running out of other guys to backload on this. Georgia's going to wind up, I think, with 3 5-stars. Alabama might keep their 4th, but I think Georgia winds up with 3 of the 5-stars. A 4th might, if somebody ascends, if one of the guys already committed goes ahead and makes that leap up, a Fitzpatrick, if you will, a James Johnson, possibly as well. Dean, I mean, I really like Dean's game. I don't think he's going to be 5th star, but he should skyrocket up boards, because I really, really like his game. Here's who Georgia has. I think they're going to add 2 names. They're going to be 5-stars, and I'm going to give you another name as well into that. First one I'm going to give you, Prothro Caden, tight end from Georgia, 6'6", 210, 5-star, number one tight end in this cycle. Georgia already has tight ends in this cycle, just so we're fully aware. Before you say anything else, before you're like, oh, Georgia doesn't need a tight end. Well, that's fine. Fogel just came on over, 6'3", 230, a 4-star kid out of Ohio. He looks the part. He acts, he is athletic as athletic can get. He's one of, right now, the smaller tight ends in the room because we just have absolute giant athletes everywhere in the tight end room. And then Keys as well, Lincoln Keys, 6'6", 245. See what I mean by giants everywhere. Those two are already in the tight end room. Oscar Delp, Lawson Lucky, Rydell in there as well. But I don't know how to 6'6", 210, and an absolute burner. He is an absolute burner. When you get close, anywhere close to scoring, this kid's a basketball player. He's going to go ahead and get up, get that catch radius. It's more like Colby Young and Noah Thomas, but in a tight end body with bigger body and in line, going against linebackers who can't go ahead and defend him. He's the fifth or a 5-star that I really, really do think Georgia gets, and I'm very excited for him. I have no problem saying that Texas looks like they're missing out on him. They have them up on their board, but everything right now, as today we sit, Georgia is in great position to land him. Not Texas. A couple of schools, Ohio State, Michigan are hot on the trail. But I think Georgia winds up and gets him. A couple of crystal balls have come his way for him. He makes another, you can't say Brock Bowers because he's 101, but in that vein of tight end. Georgia also has a couple more guys that are looking to be 5-stars. I already talked about Tyler Atkinson. I am thrilled about him. I think he is as near as lock as I can make. And if we miss on him, it's because some school came out with a giant bag. Clemson, as Brooks Austin was talking about, comes and says, hey, you can keep whatever Adidas deal you want. It's yours. Congratulations. And go make as much money as possible. But I don't think that's going to be the demarcation within Tyler Atkinson. I think he's going to love Glenn and Kirby. If Brent Venables was still at Clemson, I actually might say, okay, there's a lot of smoke with there, because Tyler Atkinson just eats, sleeps, and loves football. I think Georgia with Glenn and Kirby are the guys to go ahead and pull him in. So that would be 2 more 5-star, making to join Jared Curtis and having him as well. But I think there's actually another one out there. Savion Hyder comes on in running back. He is the number 1 running back on so many boards. And I mean, it's laughable. If you don't have Hyder on top of the running back list, please stop. Please stop. He is somebody. I heard somebody tell me that he has shades of Adrian Peterson. Now that's lunacy. You can't say words like that. But if you're talking about that, here's what you mean. You mean the violent disruption of defenders as you are running, as they are in your way, not you are in there. Like, please get out of my way because you are stopping me. You're impeding me from doing my job. And Savion has that sort of violence. Adrian Peterson, fast, yes. Strong, yes. Those are true. But on contact, his break contact, you can't come with one arm. You can't come with half your body. You got to come full lined up on me, bring your hips and wrap up, because if anything less than that, you're done. If that's what Hyder's bringing to this, ooh, my goodness. Now Georgia has a lot of juice. So much juice on the back end. Wide receivers in this cycle and the ones already on campus, those already there. We've talked about Taylor, Wiley. Those guys are absolute dudes. We have Lamar already in the running back room. I talked about the tight ends already. And now you're going to add a very raw but very high side Ogboku tackle and Jared Curtis. Running back game for days on those guys. And if you just want to go look at who Savion is, I mean, he's out of Virginia, 5'11.5". He's 6 foot, 200 pounds, but he hits like he's 235. He runs like he's 180, sits right in the middle as it wears the weight on him. But my gosh, if we get those 3 plus Curtis, and we're lined up with 5 stars, because what that would mean is we have the, in my mind, I know technically out there, and I say this with Curtis and industry standards, I'll take Curtis above any other higher ranked quarterback in this cycle. I love his arm this much that he is the dude that I would put at number 1. I know Tennessee is going to argue with me and say, but I'm not going to take the rest of the metrics that they measure with and how they do the rankings. I'm just looking at quarterback ability, and he has the best quarterback ability of anybody in the cycle. Hyder is the best running back ability in this cycle. Get away from scheme, get away from that. I don't care about that. I just care about pure talent and ability to throw the football where players are and to run the football where players aren't. And if they are, to run over them. But you're telling me we're going to have number 1 tight end, number 1 running back, number 1 quarterback, and wide receivers already on campus that were top 5 in their class when they were recruited, plus guys that were already highly ranked before, and a revamped offensive line. The future sky high bright for Georgia. That's the case. Plus, you go ahead and get what I think could wind up being the best edge guy in this cycle and the best off-ball linebacker in Tyler Atkinson. Again, Bama's going to say, no. That's Xavier. We have that guy. Texas is going to say that. Texas can't, because Texas linebacker they just got is far below either of these guys. Alabama has the best. They have the best defense to tell me we actually got the number 1 guy. And I would listen to them. I really would. I would give them the benefit of the doubt. I would listen to them. I would watch his game because I actually do really like his game as well. But for what Kirby Smart wants to do, okay, and Kirby Smart wants, CJ Allen is not the most talented linebacker in the room right now, but he is smart. He does set and he does come downhill and stop the run. Tyler Atkinson is not the same as him, but he is the same in many regards. Smart, savvy, sets the defense. Those Tyler Atkinson can do. I'm not talking about other guys begrudge. I'm not saying they're worse. What I'm saying is he's the number 1 linebacker for me because Kirby Smart has already identified him. He didn't care about any of the rankings. He said he's the number 1 on the board for me. And Glenn Schumann and Kirby Smart has bought the equity in me to give them the benefit of the doubt that when they say they have the best linebacker, they have the best linebacker. No other industry pro, no other insider can tell me. Number 1 running back, very well within reach. Number 1 tight end, very well. Crystal Ball is going for him. Already have the number 1 quarterback. And now number 1 linebacker that I think is as close to a lock without it being public as possible, sets up that date. Already guys going elsewhere that he had conversations with. Could wind up being that number 1 class is well within our reach. I'm Clint. This is Locked On Bulldogs, part of Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every single day. I'll be back later on the week, talk more Bulldogs. We'll see you guys then.